All right, everybody, welcome back. CDA League, we've got a weird and wonderful 1v1 mid here for you in lieu of a coin flip. Good to be back. Danog, how you doing? Are you here with me?
I am here with you.
Nice.
We've seen a bit of a run back with the Ancient Apparition, which we saw
Yeah.
yesterday, but that was more of a mirror matchup, so a little bit different for this one. And this is kind of like a bottom of the table clash, right, between
Yeah.
Ocean and Keen Gaming.
Yeah, I was just having a look over their records. They both actually have very similar. Among the teams that they've both played against, they have pretty similar scores. I think the only difference is that Ocean managed to take a 2-1 win over Aster, whereas Keen got 1-2'd yesterday. And what else? The other difference is that Ocean took a game off of IG, whereas Keen got 2-0'd. So this is a really weird 1v1 mid. I believe that this is Keen's... This is their offlane player playing against the mid player for Ocean. And of course, this is just the strangest matchup as well. So I don't know really what to make of this, but I guess we'll just have to see. We'll keep our eyes on it.
Yeah, he's going into the, obviously with Phoenix being a strength hero, getting a little bit of that extra bonus out of this Bracer build, and it's going to serve him pretty well, coming up against an AA and all his magic damage too.
Yeah. I guess the slightly scary thing for Phoenix is that it's one of the heroes that uses your health as a resource, and if Ancient Apparition gets to level 6 and nails you with the Ice Blast, then being on mid to low HP is going to be a little bit of a problem. Who's got the base damage advantage? So it's the Phoenix, but AA has the range on him, right? 675 versus 525.
675 is pretty huge. I mean, what's
Yeah.
Lena? Is she like 700 and something?
I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Because the longest is Techies, and then Lena's pretty sure is straight after that. Other ones that are kind of deceptive are Chen. I think he's sitting at 650.
Mirana's got above 600 as well, right? I think.
I believe so.
Anywho, let's see how this goes. We do have the Chilling Touch grabbed first. It is underneath the tower. Phoenix trying to land a couple of these spirits early on here. He's 2 out of 3 so far, but looks like AA is still going to get a lot of these CS, and even under the level 1 Fire Spirit, able to grab that one. Though Phoenix does get the deny there. Let's see how well he does underneath the tower. Nope, that's a deny from ZC. Another deny, I think. Yep, and I think Phoenix can get that one. No. Good pseudo deny.
That's the thing, yeah. Not too many people do that, which I find a little bit annoying, right? It's better to at least get some sort of experience out of it.
Oh, ZC getting gone on here. Phoenix putting in good damage. He will be okay. Retreats back. He's got a salve. These Fire Spirits are going a pretty long way, and that's confidence as well. Even with the Fire Spirits up, he's like, "There's no way you're landing on this on me. I'm just gonna pop my salve and heal back up to full." And AA definitely with the lead here. Phoenix still only 1 CS.
Forced to use a little bit of his regen already. Actually, does Phoenix even have anything? No, he doesn't have the healing salve, so
No, he's
in
got it
terms of
coming out
net worth,
now.
he's going to be alright. Yeah.
Oh. Alright, can he get these under the tower? Doing okay. Yeah, so for people asking, Vici versus Sparking Arrow was supposed to be today. It originally got pushed back from its original start time, and big dive forward. A little bit of a commitment, but both of them just trading damage in the end. And then we found out today, half an hour before it was supposed to start, that it's actually being cancelled. They're going to make an announcement, hopefully sometime later today, about what's happening there, whether or not it's just going to be a forfeit for one of the two teams, or if it is actually going to be rescheduled for a different day. But for those of you looking for that match, it's not going to be played. We've just got Keen versus Ocean for you tonight.
I think I saw something on like Weibo about it, but not a Chinese speaker, so
Right.
unfortunately cannot help you there.
Oops, squeak, squeak.
How are your how's the cookie situation going for you? I know we were talking about that
Yeah,
before.
it's okay. I mean, the ginger nuts are all gone. Still have some Scotch fingers and some Jaffa cakes, so I'm okay.
Scotch fingers are top tier, so that's good.
Yeah, they're definitely good. How does your cookie tier list go?
In terms of like Arnott's cookies? Or...
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, or just anything you can get like in the store. So.
I mean, yeah, Scotch fingers are way up there. You kind of need to have them with something though. Like it goes well with a cake or some coffee or a tea or something like that.
Yeah, I need a cup of something.
Phoenix getting gone on a little bit. Some of this aggression coming out from the AO is really nice, as well as the cold feet. You know, it means it forces the Phoenix away, especially when you can see he's timing it when there's some range creep to be contested.
Yeah, the only thing to make sure is that you don't like go out of position to get a cold feet and then the Phoenix just dives on top of you and forces the trade. That's going to be certainly problematic. Seems to be getting a little bit better at dodging some of these, though. Still easy to nail him as he's actually going for the CS, and AA is still winning the CS war pretty heavily here. Phoenix trying to scramble together this secondary bracer, but not ferrying out any additional regen. And I do think that's going to come back to bite him, because ZC's sitting on 2 tangos and a salve, so he can actually afford to force some trades and try and force the Phoenix out of the lane. I'm actually a little bit surprised that he's not trying to be a bit more aggressive, but I guess just happy to keep going with the chilling touch harassment and then maybe ferry out some mangoes and go for a kill at level 6 or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, the way things are going, he's going to hit that level 6 before the Phoenix does, so it's going to be a bit of a risky situation. I mean, that's really Phoenix's comeback potential as well, right? If he's able to get a couple of Fire Spirits and an Egg off in a really nice position, that's the way he's going to be able to maybe take this kill.
Yeah, it's going to have to be very well positioned, but I think that's kind of his only way. Even if he just uses it to like reset his health, I think that's pretty decent. Ooh, I don't know if you can afford to go for that CS, bud. Let's get stunned up. ZC doesn't quite have the level 6 yet. And Salve did get delivered for Phoenix, but going to have to make sure to get out of vision to get the full value out of this. And ZC does actually manage to cancel it, popping down another Observer Ward. Now pops a salve of his own, so now he can really take the HP lead on this lane. Another chilling touch to force him back. Phoenix, I think, maybe just playing for the level 6 here, but I don't think this wave is quite going to be enough. Catapult's going to take a little while to die, and this creep wave under the tower is definitely going to be AA's level 6, though pretty shy on the mana. Does he have mangoes coming out? 1 mango and a clarity. So even if he drops everything, I think he's only going to have maybe 2 spells. Certainly not all 3. There's the Ice Blast coming in. Phoenix dives away. Still get clipped by it, however. Does have another salve. So a good reaction there.
I bet he was wishing he could pick up that regen on the top
Yeah,
side.
not allowed to, unfortunately. Oh,
Actually dodging out that clarity there. Sorry, the Fire Spirit with the clarity ticking on him. So real value for ZC, and that's one of the other advantages of this Ice Blast. It's going to have nearly enough mana to cast it very, very soon, as soon as it comes back off cooldown.
Yeah, well, he needs to hold off on the chilling touch for a little bit. Dive through Phoenix. That's a tower shot coming. Needs to pop the Fairy Fire for that. Does not have the mana for the Supernova. All right, just gonna use it for an HP reset here. ZC not willing to go in mana.
He could have got that kill. He was only about 5 mana short.
He's diving in now. He's really deep. He has popped the glyph. Can he get it? He's aggroed the tower. This is not the situation that he wants to be in. Gets back on the other side, landing these Fire Spirits nicely. There is a Fairy Fire. ZC still juking, and no more Fire Spirits left. He's actually going to end up surviving. I'm surprised he doesn't just like TP back to the fountain and get the mana to chuck out an Ice Blast.
Long range Ice Blast,
Yeah.
TP in. Or, like walk back maybe, and then
maybe,
do the whole TP
yeah.
thing.
Yeah, that could be an option. CS is pretty close. Phoenix making a bit of a comeback on that front. This regen is still taunting both of them. Yeah. But I don't know if you just want to go for the Ice Blast. Ooh, big Fire Spirit. Looking for him. Alright, there's a salve. A little bit of toggling going on just to get the full value out of this here. But he is giving the wave up to the Phoenix. Ice Blast from distance. Does connect. Can he get any other damage down? No, just forces him back. Okay, well, looks like this might come down to net worth in the end here. We'll have to see. Slight lead on the Phoenix side currently.
What was the order it was done again? Is it net worth before last hits? I feel like it was.
Yeah, I think it's net worth first. Net worth, last hits, denies, and then I think that's it, right? Yeah. Net worth, last hit, denies, coin toss. And if I really, it's so unlikely that it would ever go to a coin toss, but it would also just make the whole situation feel so ridiculous. Like, oh, we just played a 10-minute 1v1. Here comes another Ice Blast. Phoenix does have a Supernova ready. I don't think he's even going to tick out from this, though.
It'll be fine.
Pretty tanky with a double bracer, but does get forced back off the wave, so trying to get the lead back, though it seems... Oh, the dive in, but it's straight into the Chilling Touch, and that's your first blood. Oh, no, give him the dots. It surely kills first, right? Or does it... Okay.
Kills first.
Yeah, so kills, net worth, last hits, denies, coin flip. GG called. Alright, so with that, Ocean are going to be taking the selection priority here, and a nice little momentum advantage heading into this first game.
Do you ever just run face first into a wall? Because that's really what just happened.
It was an interesting idea. I think he wanted to like dive on top of him and supernova, but he just ran straight into that Chilling Touch projectile as fast as possible, and that was the end of him there. Okay, so Ocean likely still looking for a core here. I imagine Timber's playing in one of the side lanes. Monkey probably also side lane here, right? I don't think either one of these heroes really wants to match up against the Necrophos. Maybe Monkey King has an alright matchup and I just don't know it, but on face value, or at a glance, doesn't necessarily seem like he would be that great 1v1 against a Necro.
It's not amazing. I guess you could still do little bits of damage here and there. You're not going to be able to pop a Necro, though. That's the big issue.
5 seconds.
Yeah, and you're just going to get worn down pretty consistently. It's going to be hard to get your stacks up if he goes for any kind of point in the Shroud early on. But Morphling is the ban from Keen. Man, I still want to see some kind of building damage from them. I don't know exactly what form that would take. Ocean banning the Queen, actually, so just worried about another nuking hero as they now go for the Wraith King. Okay, just a solid, stable carry. Can't really complain. Good against the Necrophos for sure. You're not too worried about the Scythe.
It puts a lot of pressure onto this Ember Spirit to get big on the map, and so maybe that changes around the way that Keen are going to prioritize their farm. They're not going to secure the Necrophos' game as much. A lot more gets put onto this Ember, although it could still be a Necro 3. It doesn't need to be one of these main two cores for them.
Yeah, I do quite like the Wraith King against Ember just in general as well. Like Wraith King, not as much with some of the builds that we see these days, though it can still happen with like an Armlet Deso kind of a thing. Does put out a lot of physical damage, and as an Ember you always need to be afraid because the Wraith King's going to buy an Abyssal Blade at some point, and he's got another stun of his own. So yeah, if you are asleep at the wheel even a little bit as Ember Spirit versus Wraith King, you can just get crit into oblivion and lose your team a fight quite easily. So Keen Gaming, more brawl for them as they fire back with an Ursa. All right, I think this is going to be an action-packed game here.
Yeah, I like it. We haven't seen the Fuzzy Wuzzy in a long time, and if there's anyone that's able to take these man fights up against the Monkey King and a Wraith King, it's definitely Ursa, and pretty decent against the Timbersaw and Lane as well. So
yeah,
he's going to be happy with how this has turned out for him as the last pick to try and tie everything together. I guess lacking a little bit of tower push right now on Keen, who's going to be the one standing there on the front lines, but Ocean, they've definitely got the capabilities for it.
So what happened to Ursa? Because it wasn't that long ago that he was the hero, right, of the moment. I guess he got a couple of nerfs
Yeah, he got a bunch, basically. So they gave him the buffs to his movement speed. That was the big thing that we talk about with the Dragon Knight, why he's become so much more popular these days. But then, in similar Ice Frog fashion, he didn't just revert that change that he made. He changed different things about it. He made overpower, start to scale a little bit worse. It started to cost a little more at the early levels. Things of that nature.
Yeah, so he got all the way up to 330 base move speed, and then it got reduced and reduced again. But when they reduced it to 315, that's when they gave him the Earthshock jump. And then slowly base armor got reduced, strength growth got reduced, and then they, with the most recent changes, there's been some further nerfs. And one of the biggest things, or one of the biggest changes, not necessarily a nerf, is that the Enrage no longer has a Fury Swipes multiplier. So Enrage is strictly a defensive ability at this point, not worth popping to try and get out extra damage, unless of course you're at risk of being CC'd.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, is there anything right now that you would be looking to use it on? Not really. It's not like you've got a Frostbite, for example, on the Crystal Maiden where you can just pop it and it goes away.
Yeah.
Ocean?
I guess there are a few things that you can kind of see coming, like, the Wraith King stun, or where throwing up the status resistance is going to be pretty handy. As, Ocean making a early little rotation around here. They've got some vision, but I think the smoke is broken on Fame. They're going to toss in the Wraith King, looking for something. Who are they actually going for? Ursa will be the target. Erica getting focused on, but Afu with the Inkswell turning it around, getting the damage out onto 2, and that's your first blood. Boundless Strike forced up, but I don't even know if they're going to get the kill on the Ursa at the end of the day. Toss was coming back off cooldown, but an extremely ill-fated early rotation out of Ocean here.
Yeah.
That is not what they wanted.
Not what they wanted at all. You've got a bit of a turnaround happening here, trying to harass down some of the AA, but Rubik, he's going to happily take that. You can see he's already put the boots into his quick buy, only 50 gold away. Even closer, actually, once they pick up this last bounty rune.
Yeah, they only got the one, unfortunately, but still something. Okay,
it's going to enable some harass, and it stops you being as afraid of this tiny running out. He's committed heavily into this boots of speed as well as the tango, so you're just going to be able to harass down that 0 armor very easily while not putting yourself in a risky position. Yeah,
they're going for the aggro tri-lane here, maybe looking for some tossbacks or something. So they do have the Timbersaw up here, but Ursa's already making his way into the lane, and Ember's walked all the way bottom. So Keen actually kind of reading that early aggression as Ocean going for the aggro try, and will actually rotate into the lanes that they were maybe wanting anyway. So yeah, I don't think the Timber's going to be very happy to see the Ursa up here, but Keen have TPs ready, so it's not like Ocean can easily break this up. And running a tri-lane into a dual lane is never going to be all that much fun unless you're getting kills. So a ton of pressure on them here to try and find something. Toss back onto the Rubik. As I say that, YDS getting a little bit out of position. Will be able to get the Fade Bolt and the lift out, but still gets caught by the Cold Feet and should be going down. No Fairy Fire or anything like that for him. Ola does take a bunch of damage off of the Ember, but he's got a salve to heal back up.
Yeah, so doing exactly what they need to do, securing the kills early on, means that who got the kill, AA, probably not the most ideal to snare that early one. And how many more kills do you think it's going to be until Fame decides, right, we've had a good early start, now time to rotate towards this mid lane? Because again, Necro, one of those heroes that can really be caught out if put in the wrong position, especially against something like a Monkey King. For sure. I think he can just get kind of another level and then they can go from there. What was that Cold Feet on? Is he just trying to secure a CS or something? Top lane, how is the Timber doing? He is actually getting some CS. Getting harassed a little bit, but not too badly. He's pretty close back to his tower. I think Keen really needs to use this side pull to maybe drag the creep wave back a little bit and give themselves a bit more chasing room against the Timber, who's just completely holding the wave exactly where he wants it. And mid lane, actually going pretty well for the Monkey King, gotta say. So far, putting some good pressure on the Necrophos, able to keep chasing him down, looking for those stacks. too true. I'm liking the positioning of this Tiny as well. Always a threat to this Rubik trying to get these pulls happening out there. If they move too far forward, it just means an easy toss, but not leeching too much in the form of XP, letting Ola stay pretty relative to what this Ember Spirit's going to have.
Yeah, definitely nice to get the levels up on the Wraith King. This tri-lane is only going to be temporary. AA well out of position, though. I don't know what XMY was doing there. Maybe trying to interrupt the side pull, but didn't have any kind of backup, and quick point in the Searing Chains for the Ember Spirit finds a very easy kill.
Yeah, absolute disaster when you're going to be losing one of these heroes against a dual lane. Now though, Fame, he's got his level 2, so he's got the Avatos combo available to him, and that kill potential, I could see Grimstroke.
Afu's TPing bot. They're going to be looking for some kind of a turnaround here. Making his way in now. Going to focus on the Ember for now. Do get a good stun onto the Wraith King. Finish him off. Can they chase for anything further? Ember does have some stick charges, but just wants the CS instead. And that ends up being a pretty good 1-for-1. Unfortunately, Afu's Clarity is going to get chased down by these skeletons. And looks like they're also going to mess up... Oh, are they going to mess up his pole? Ooh, he gets 2. Gets half of it, as Fame is now rotating over to mid. Ghost Shroud's being forced out, so it could be a good opportunity, but looks like YDS suspects that the rotation is coming, so he's just hiding in the trees for now.
He's pinged it.
Yeah, he's got a ward coming out in a second, so as soon as he pops that down... Okay, here they see the Tiny, and they might just be able to go onto Fame, toss up into the Monkey King. They still don't have the Ghost Shroud. Fame taking a lot of damage, but unfortunately Necrophos will just be forced to run for the hills here.
A little bit lucky. Ocean was a bit short on the mana to be able to pick him up.
That's still a lot of damage with the Boundless Strike.
Yeah.
ZC's playing aggressively, but gotta be careful. There is the Ghost Shroud back up now. Salve for the Rubik.
Yeah, we speak about things not wanting to be too reactionary. I don't like it in the draft. I'm kind of liking it how they're playing it though in these
Erica,
lanes.
is this a solo kill? TZY getting run down.
Yeah, I mean that's the danger about going up solo against an Ursa. It means that you're always going to be in a disadvantageous position. This Timbersaw.
Yeah, that's tough. And I think he's really just going to get run at this whole game. Though, when you pick Timber first, you know that there's going to be counters, and you're just relying on the fact that the Timber is going to make enough space and draw enough attention in the draft that your other cores are going to have a good game. And the Monkey King certainly having a good one so far, and Wraith King not doing too badly either. So, nothing to be too concerned about just yet, though Ursa getting off to a good start can always be a little bit scary. He's actually going for some treads, it looks like. On the Fuzzy Wuzzy this game, and no points in the Overpower. So, I have seen this build before, but I don't know what you make of it.
A little bit different. I mean, the phase boost you would think would be relatively useful to be able to deal with, you know, all of the Wraith King skeletons, both doing damage to you, as well as just being able to catch a lot of these melee cores that Ocean are running. But
oh, Necro, don't get tossed under the tower, my friend. I guess the creep wave is pushing a little bit. All right, tossed back. He's got the Ghost Shroud, pops that immediately, lifts back. Here comes the Scythe, and that is going to be the end of the Tiny. Follow it up. They're looking for the Monkey King. Nice Inkswell and TP in from Afu, and they're going to keep the Catapult alive. This is a huge play from Keen, as they will be able to get some good farm and good pressure on this tier 1. And now Ola dying at bottom. Erica's actually chasing for a little bit more. Got the Enrage to keep on running. Ancient Apparition about to be brought down. One last hop forward. And that is 4 kills all the way across the map. Keen giving themselves a little pat on the back.
Disaster for Ocean with that fight eventuating. You know, losing a couple of kills, as you said, and allowing it to transform into an objective usually means that you're able to punish one of these other lanes, but giving up 2 kills nearly solo to an Ursa, and you can see that Enrage coming in real handy, being able to just shrug off the about to proc portion of the Cold Feet, which means he's able to secure the kill on the AA as well.
I mean, Timbersaw is trying to apply a lot of pressure, knowing that most of the heroes are elsewhere on the map, but he needs to be careful. Ember is a little bit low, but he's got a fairly hefty wand, so should be okay, but Timbersaw still chasing him down here. Chain's coming through. But here comes the Timber Chain. Ember still juking. This damage is starting to add up little by little on the Timber. Afu's still not coming over to help. He's just dragging this creep wave. As the chakram damage is starting to mount. Afu, where are you? He's got 3 points in the Inkswell. Could have at least threatened the Timbersaw somewhat, but lets him get away with the kill almost for free.
Yeah, even just the movement speed might have been useful against that. You know, if you're caught in the chakram, there's not all too much that you can do. But yeah, Afu, as you said, a little bit out of position, and just you feel really bad for this Ember Spirit because he's still sitting at level 5.5, comparing it to some of these other cores around the map.
Yeah, he's really just trying to find a home on the map somewhere. At least Eric is doing really, really well. Wraith King just picking up a couple of small items so far. I did opt for the phase boots this game. And Monkey King hopping around elsewhere. It looks like it's just going to be Echo Saber first for him. Kind of an interesting choice from the Necrophos. He's going to be going for a Force Staff first. Definitely some nice stuff to, you know, some cores that you want to be able to kite this game. So not a bad choice by any stretch of the imagination, as ZC does come over here. He's scouting a little bit. Afu thinks about walking up onto that high ground. Not a full Avatos, but still a bit of damage. Here comes the Inkswell. Is it actually going to end up popping? Stun onto 2, but XMY avoids it, and Keen not interested in taking that fight all the way to the high ground. Just going to shove out lanes a bit more.
Could even see some big individual plays here from the Necro as well when he finishes up that 4 staff. It's always nice to try and bait out the Monkey King to run a little bit too close to you.
Alright, well, Timber was playing a little bit too far up, and Erica is just going to come in and easily deal with him. And now running, just looking for more kills. Necrophos is a little bit low on mana, trying to grab these CS here. Monkey King coming in with the stacks, but they're only going to last a tiny bit longer. And now the Ursa coming in. Do they have a Quelling Blade? It's actually on cooldown. ZC, he hops down, however. Now he hops back up, but the Quelling Blade might be waiting. Don't even need it. Ursa just also bounds over the cliff. He's looking for the stacks now, but he won't get the last one. There's a Scythe waiting. And that is what the Necrophos needed, just what the Doctor ordered to get his mana back.
Immediate smoke as well, so they're going all in onto this kill style of gameplay. He's heading down towards the Wraith King.
But yes, that's not happening. So they're not going to get any experience here on these outposts. They're even just going to let the Rubik live to go and try for the bounty runes instead. The Ember's already over there, so YDS still gets its revenge. Erica just everywhere on the map. Wraith King dying at bottom. This is a very run-at-you style from Keen. Ooh, I don't think they can quite get that.
Oh, he was keen to. He's already got the taste for blood. 5 kills, 0 deaths, 2 assists, and a Grimstroke right next to him just means that little bit of extra control that you need at this stage of the game where they don't have the tools to be able to deal with it.
Yeah, the 3-point Inkswell, I think, is actually going to make the Ursa a complete terror. Like, he's just hopping in with Earthshock, and then there's absolutely no way to get away. He's going to be going for a Vlad's. The Necrophos also farming nicely. That Force Staff coming out in just a second. And of course, I guess the other thing to think about is that the Force Staff is just another tool to maybe knock the Monkey King down off of his perch. And he has fallen far. Net worth not looking very great. He's just above the Rubik currently. We were saying that Ember was having a tough game, but the Monkey King is even behind him at this point.
That should help.
Yeah, and you can see, you know, the style that Eric is going. Immediately after that kill in the mid lane, he smoked up, he went to the bot side. His net worth is relying on kills, so as soon as that dries up for him, it's going to be a lot harder for King to start to scale into the later stage of this
Ocean
game.
trying to do something bottom, maybe looking for the toss back. AA forced to use the blast instead onto the Ursa, who just pops the enrage. He's going to be fine. Here comes the Soulbind. Reaper Scythe still on cooldown for a little bit, but they should be able to get both of these kills regardless. Scythe available. Put him in the ground. Mega kill, double kill for the Necrophos, and Keen Gaming are rolling.
Yeah, they're keeping the pressure up on this. Using that Reaper's Scythe means that Timber is not going to be a factor for 40 seconds, and he was really the only one at this stage of the game that was putting any pressure on these lanes, pushing him out, stopping this relentless death ball from Keen.
The nicest thing I'm seeing from Keen this game is kind of like just moving around their cooldowns, and you know, Necrophos is down there because he knows he's got the Reaper Scythe coming up shortly, and that's probably why Afu is playing down there as well. So goes to show that when they have the momentum, they can actually look much more like a well-oiled machine. It's just maybe about finding that confidence and getting the right start to get them going.
I think at that stage it can come down to things like, you know, individual misplays. You know, if you've got multiple people rotating onto a mid lane, you shouldn't be dying in a 2v1 situation in your side lanes. But we've seen there that Ursa's still been able to grab these kills.
Yeah, Ocean definitely getting exploited a little bit. Now Fame getting run at bottom and Rage Pop just to get through the stun. One more touch will do it. The Timbersaw's coming over here, but I don't think you want to be up that close with the Ursa necessarily. At least I guess with the Enrage popped, you could threaten him a little bit. Keen Gaming supports over on the other side of the map, and now the Ursa just TPing to this freshly claimed outpost, looking for more kills on the other side. Vision situation not great for Ocean, as they have been kind of driven out, driven back onto their side of the map. At least they have a little bit on these high grounds. I didn't actually realize they had this ward over here. I thought it was just the eastern one, but...
And that Ursa finishing up the Vlads. He's got the power.
Oh, you're gone.
Only 1 point in the overpower, so that Roshan's going to be really easy for him to take. You can see his team creating a lot of distractions, just cutting off any sort of aggressive route that they might take.
Yeah, Ocean are pressuring bottom a little bit. Ola's getting some farm going. The skeletons are doing their job. Though they're kind of overlapping here, right? Timber's farming. The Wraith King kind of just wants the skeletons to be taking that wave, but there isn't that much space on the map. Even the Monkey King is getting in here, taking a couple of creeps, but they all desperately need items. And the Radiance especially coming along somewhat slowly. They have stabilized the net worth advantage, so not falling behind too much, as Monkey King needing to be careful.
They know where he is.
Did they see that Death Pulse? They're now chasing him, hopping around. He does have a TP scroll available, scouting him one more time, and no way to deal with him. Even presence of mind to go TP top and try and find some farm over there.
Yeah, we were speaking about that Radiance. Necro about at the same level as the Wraith King in terms of his progression towards it.
Yeah, jeez. This Necrophos is actually getting pretty big.
And with the Aegis too, so as soon as he picks that one up, I mean, he might even be looking to get a kill in this encounter before those tier 2 items become a factor, because they know they've got a healthy lead. 15-minute mark. Yeah,
they're running in. Might be looking for that double scythe as the possibility. They're jumping in, looking for the Monkey King Boundless Strike, holding them back. Will be able to hop onto the tree shortly. Instead, they're just going to set their sights on the Timbersaw. He's being chained up. Will be able to deal with the Phantom and gets another chain away just in time before that Inkswell popped. So they do manage to dodge this gank, and Monkey King able to go and clear another wave, perhaps. Needs to wait for the Boundless Strike, and it looks like instead just going to go for the next one.
Oh, not even going to use the Boundless. Or the Primal Spring, rather. He's just trying to get some aggro off, bring some attention away on the map.
Yeah, unfortunately, a couple of creeps still sneaking past, but yeah, Rubik chasing after him. YDS still interested in what's going on here. They got 3 top, Wraith King showing bottom. They know that the Ancient Apparition's not there either, so pretty confident that they can just take this tier 2. And we're wanting the haze, can take a lot of damage here. Ice Blast coming in. He does have stick charges, but ticking down from the Frostbite. I think he might, yeah, he's done. And actually that auto attack chasing him all the way across the map. YDS getting gone on. Off, we're going to be looking for the turnaround here. Did put the Inkswell on the Rubik, but unable to chase any further. Necrophos taking some big damage, and Fame still has this haste, so he's going to be A-okay. And that is 2 nice kills for Ocean, getting themselves back on the board a bit.
Yeah, failed rotation back by Keen as well, so a lot of time wasted. You can tell that this Ursa wants to just keep the pressure up, stay near this Timbersaw. Got some good vision around, so if Ursa was trying to get up on the top side and try and pincer him, you've got this mango tree, you've got this deep observer ward as well, so he's not going to be able to do that.
Man, that worked out really well for Ocean, right? They held their tier 2, they took the bottom tier 2, they got 2 kills. They're now getting top lane shoved out a little bit further, and yeah, Wraith King's gonna have his Radiance in just a couple of minutes, so definitely looking good. The Vessel is up on the Ember. I think they've got more than enough counters to the Timbersaw at this point. Can probably start itemizing for some of the other heroes. Of course, just a nice item to have in general, but...
And this aggression now becoming even stronger on this Ursa. He's nearly finished up his Diffusal Blade, so he's going to become even more of a threat for these squishy cores, such as the Monkey King. You know, you need a good amount of mana to get off your full combo.
For sure. Okay, Keen, they still have the Aegis for another minute, so they're making a rotation towards mid. They don't quite have the Radiance completed on the Necrophos, and he hasn't even committed to buying the Relic just yet. Still maybe deciding exactly what he wants to go for. I don't know if there's really anything to me that's, like, obviously better. And I think the Radiance secures his game even further, so kind of like it. Maybe a Shiva's later, but probably not the time for it now.
Yeah, you can tell that he kind of wants to do something. I mean, look how aggressive he's playing right underneath a tier 2 tower alone. If there was any sort of rotation from Ocean, it would probably be him going down. He's still got that Aegis for the next 30 seconds, so it gives him freedom to do it, but taking a Necro down twice isn't impossible, especially considering he's got all of this net worth held up in his bank right now.
Yeah, he's really trying to call his team over, it seems, but Ursa's still showing top. Ocean, seeing that, are thinking about taking a fight over here, knowing that the Ursa won't be able to get in position. They're unveiling the tiny Blink Dagger. Ember does just manage to hop away in time. The heal's not going to help him. Timbersaw out on an island. Wraith King does come in, looking to help him out a little bit. The Rubik's not here quite yet, and Ursa also still not in position. He's pinging onto this tier 2 instead. Just wants to take that out. The Monkey King now heading top. And Ursa might just go and rejoin his team, as it does seem like ZC wants to deal with a little bit of top pressure. And Fame is actually rushing all the way down to bottom to deal with this wave really quickly and keep the pressure on this tier 3 tower, though not really able to threaten it by himself.
I like it though. He's creating a lot of space around the map. He's going to somewhat protect this outpost from any sort of keen rotation. They don't have the Aegis anymore. It was reclaimed about 30 seconds ago. So now that Keen are just sitting underneath this tier 2 tower, it means that they have to play a little bit more scared than previous.
Yeah, they do have some vision. They see the Tiny running around.
Oh, they found Monkey.
Over at top, Monkey King getting gone on. Can he actually get the jump back up onto the tree? No. He's going to try and pop the Wukong's command, but too much damage from the Ursa, and now fight begins over on the other side. They've got the Scythe down onto one. XMY also in danger. He's going to get chased down. He had a gem. Fortunately, the courier is just sitting there waiting, and Llama able to get on out of there. But still, that is 3 deaths and 3 nice kills for Keen, and that should be the Radiance getting delivered for the Necrophos as well.
It's just picked it up here. Also a double damage on the top side of the map. Yeah, I mean, it just shows the fact that you don't constantly need to be pushing waves. You don't constantly need to be farming something. You can just be waiting in the fog if you feel like you've got a good enough vision. And that was the case with the Ursa, able to jump onto that Monkey King as soon as he used the Primal.
Timber going in very aggressively there. Should be okay. The supports are not really here to punish him. Rubik still chilling down at bottom. And they will. Necro finally gets his wish. They push down this tier 2 tower on the mid lane. Chains coming out. There's a net. Necrophos just walking in, though. This is decent damage stacking up on the Timber. Should be fine to chain his way out of here, but the Wraith King actually in a little bit of danger. Caught out. This might be his first life at the very least. The Chakram defending him somewhat. But this is a double damage Ursa waiting for him on the respawn. Avalanche toss combination from the Tiny. It's going to get them the kill on the Ember Spirit, who buys back immediately. The Wukong's command trying to protect, but Ursa not being forced to back down at all. Bit of an awkward force staff there as he turns back around. And I think realizing that his team can actually just take this fight. The Necrophos bringing them the heals that they need. The Monkey King gets brought down. Fame has another Avatos combination, but the core is just getting worked in that fight.
Yeah, good value buyback as well from Keen on the Ember Spirit. They realize that their timing is now. They can't make it go too much later. Ocean, they've constantly been trying to push out these lanes to delay the game for just that little extra minute or two. But, no, Keen able to take the fight in an advantageous position for them. Lucky enough to actually get the Wraith King as reincarnate off, because he had the Ursa standing right on top of them, that Diffusal Blade, and not let yet his level 20, so it's not like he can just shrug off the mana cost.
Yeah, that was actually a little bit lucky, but even with that, Keen's still going to win the fight pretty easily, and to me, so much of this actually comes back to the fact that Ocean went for that failed First Blood attempt, and then kind of gave away what their laning setup was going to be, and Keen were able to rotate their lanes before, before the creeps even met. And then Erica's had a great game, made fantastic rotations, good calls. They've had good movement since, but they really set themselves up for success just with that one little adjustment in the laning stage.
Yeah, and it's not even that it was a bad attempt to go for the first blood there. I mean, if it worked out for Ocean, it would have put them in a really great position because so much of Keen's lineup relies on this early game. So to be behind the 8-ball to still...
They want Afu, but can they actually get it? Monkey King, he hit this. He hit the spirit once instead, and now the Scythe is gonna find him. Oh no. Oh no. Jump up onto the high ground. They're chasing over onto the AA, gonna go for the softer target, and this time around, they will secure themselves the gem. He does not have the courier waiting in the wings. The other thing to talk about, of course, is how abysmally this Monkey King pick has gone, right? Because the Necrophos was already picked, right? For Keen. Like, it was already on the table. It seemed like they picked the Monkey King to try and counterpick the Ember, but the Ember was just in a side lane. So that lane also went pretty badly. He was doing okay on CS, but then with some intervention from the supports, things started getting pretty ugly. Wraith King gonna have to go for the TP out here. Do they have any way to interrupt? I guess they do. TP in from the Ember. Wraith King, you got 2 lives, but I see 2 deaths on the menu as Timbersaw just gonna leave him behind. TPing back to the fountain. It's gonna be another kill for the Ember. And
I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, how do you kill this Necrophos? At least until it gets very, very late into the game. They don't have much at all in the form of non-physical damage on their team, and if it is, it's coming for these supports, and those are just being countered by this Ursa, because he's able to just be on those front lines and get these easy pickups. Same with the Ember Spirit.
Yeah, I think they picked the AA and maybe kind of like, great, we're set. Now we've got the answers that we need to the Necrophos, but it has just not worked out that way at all. This game.
Oh, they found it again.
Oh, Monkey King. Tossed up. Monster kill streak for Necrophos. And I guess they have to go and take out this tier 2 bottom to completely close out the game, but this is starting to look pretty grim if you're Ocean. I do have to say, I like their logo a lot.
Oh yeah? The shark?
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
Is that an Australian thing, just wanting to support the shark population?
Maybe.
Look how keen they are. They're just, no creeps, don't care. Just gonna push up
alright, let's sight this guy. We know he doesn't have reincarnation. He's dead. Timbersaw now getting locked down, and XMY just gonna try and save his Timbersaw. One more death, perhaps. Oh, what? I don't know what. Was that the last second of the soul bind? That looked a little bit weird.
Yeah, a little bit weird, but poor stuff, able to get him out of it. Anyway, Keen Gaming getting the first out of the wins in this best of 3, and one step closer to securing a full series for themselves, but they'll need to win one more game. That is BO3 setup. Ocean, I mean, yeah, it does come back to the draft at the end of the day, right? Monkey King was not the pick. You needed something that was able to do a mix of all sorts of damage. Maybe Shadow Fiend might have been a bit better.
Yeah, maybe. It really just goes to show that the Monkey King needs so much out of the lane and can be a real feast or famine hero. And there were heroes like that on the Keen Gaming side as well. I think Ember and Ursa can be in that exact situation, but it just happened that Keen had the better matchups. They got the matchups that they were hoping for, and then we just saw how ineffective Monkey King can be when he's not able to make these rotations. I think part of it as well comes down to the fact that he has 2 supports that he can't really connect with easily, and I think that's always a little bit of a problem with the AA. If you don't have these setup stuns and the reliable catch, then he can kind of end up being a little bit weird. But yeah, I would really pin that one on the draft. And I still want to give some compliments to Keen. I think they played well, made good rotations, and it was certainly an improvement over some of the other games of theirs that we've cast in this tournament.
Yeah, so if this is their style, great. I want them to make it work and keep running with it.
For sure. Well, we'll have to see what Game 2 has in store. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes with the continuation of this series.